Yes, YouTube. I hope that you're doing okay. Firstly, thank you for clicking on the video. It is Ben Hawksworth at The Coach Consultant, and today I'm going to show you how to make as much money as humanly possible, as fast as possible, while trying to save a massive headache and stress in the process as well. One of the biggest areas that I see fitness coaches going wrong is they are trying to do too much and everything's not aligned. So they're trying to run different offers at different people with different products, with different programs, and it becomes chaos and they don't actually go anywhere. Despite doing so much more, they're not actually earning much more money or actually developing or growing anymore. What I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to show you 2 visual examples on how that is the worst possible thing that you can do. So we want to make sure that everything is aligned, everything's straightforward. It's a step-by-step process in sequence of development, of improvement, of evolution, getting to that obviously big bank of money that we all want. Before diving into the actual nitty-gritty of having one offer, one niche, one program, and everything that you need behind that to obviously achieve success, I want to show you a visual example. So let's imagine that this row of chairs is a start point for where you are right now. And if we go over there, that's you having financial freedom, earning loads of money, feeling really good. Right, if all these chairs are lined up like this, it's going to be next to impossible for me to cross over to the other side, isn't it? Like, I might actually break my leg. So if I want to go there, I have to jump from there, miss a gap, risk it, and it's just going to be quite a difficult process. If I come in and simply just aligned all of these together, as simple as that, how much easier is the process for me to get from A to B of struggling financially to now achieving financial freedom? It's a straight line sequence process. Example number 2, this does not involve chairs, which is a bit boring. This involves 2 fishermen. So imagine that this is a huge percent of the market, and this is the mindset that a lot of people have. It's in essence, right, what can I get in the next 4 to 12 weeks? Because I know what it's like when you're building a business. You've got to invest into mentorships, into programs, you've got running costs, and it gets really, really stressful. But what people do is they rush this process and they start creating a new offer, isolating a different niche, suddenly doing a different style of content, and then overall just jumping and chopping and changing on what they're doing all the time, and that's actually inhibiting their growth, and I want to show you exactly why. So imagine that this is Coach A and this is Coach B, right? So Coach A is looking to just try and get those results as fast as humanly possible, but what they're doing is they're changing their offer, they're changing the niche, they're changing the content strategy, they're manipulating the program randomly for the sake of it to try and get better results. They're coming in and changing loads of stuff. So what that means is they've got no depth to their line in any way, shape or form. What they're doing is they're trying to scrape the surface. So this is basically what you call like scraping the surface. So this is all the little tiny fish on there, which aren't really worth that much. But what we want is we want 25 grand tuna, or I don't know how much expensive they are, but we want those fish, put it that way. Right? So when we're coming into here, this person here is fishing for small fry, like it's whitebait, it's tiny, there's nothing to it. But what it's also creating is a substantial amount of stress and pressure. Like, you imagine this person's arms, mindset, how much they're having to think, their stability on the boat, like everything is all over the place just because they're trying to fish on too many different lines, or they're trying to chop and change everything that they're doing all the time. And again, this is an absolute massive common issue that fitness coaches have, and something that I really try and address by keeping simplicity, making it a step-by-step process, and again, focusing on one thing. So let's imagine now we're coming into Coach B, right? We have got the depth here, which is where the money is. Another analogy for this is, imagine like when you are mining for oil and you've got a drill. They can't go onto an oil drill with like a little hand bit, go bzz, 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 and suddenly get loads of oil. It just doesn't work like that, does it? They have a full industrial pipe that goes all the way down. So what we're looking at here is we're fishing at depth, right? But in order to fish at depth, it initially starts at that surface level here. But what they do is they will add on a weight and 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 a weight. And eventually that is going to go down into a linear process and get into that niche where all that money is, where we want to be obviously fishing, right? So when we're looking at a straight line process, imagine the stress that this guy's under. Not that much stress, because all the stress is all on the line here. He's not going to feel much onto that perspective there, because all of this pressure is coming through this line, is coming through the customer journey, the standard operating procedures, the strategies and everything that he's created. So for example, up there I've got one niche, one offer, one program, one content strategy, one YouTube channel, one set of standard operating procedures, one set of setting approaches, one set of sales structures, one KPIs, metrics tracking, one funnel, one nurture, one ads, one team, one contract, one platform, right? And again, that is scraping the surface of the amount of stuff that you can do with just one offer. But I just wanted to kind of get across to people, like, this is exactly why you potentially aren't scaling. And a huge part to this as well is, I know that in the title I've put linear way to make money for fitness professionals, and I said that at the start of the video. But what I didn't say is the time that it actually takes. So when we're coming into here, this is going to take you 6 to 12 months. If you are just starting out right now, I can genuinely promise you it's going to take you 6 to 12 months, right? If you want to completely get into those niche areas, you want to be earning 10, 15, 20, 25 grand a month and upwards, you're going to need to have a sustained period of time fishing in the same place, putting more weights on, putting better bait on, and getting down into that area, right? Where people go wrong is they will come in and they'll chop and change the bait, right? Because imagine this, right? We're coming in, we've got a weight on there. Suddenly, one of these weights is a content strategy. You're like, oh, this is not working. You then change your content strategy, but that weight's off. It's going to pull it back up. It's going to pull it back up. It's going to pull it back up. So this is why it's so important that you know the absolute ins and outs of that niche. You need to live and breathe in that niche area with research, with getting clients on board, with surveys, with content, with long form, short form, getting into as many conversations as humanly possible, because the more that you know that niche, right, the better that you can create the weight to your offer, the weight to your program, the weight to your content, the style that you have on your YouTube. I've just dropped my pen, right? Standard operating procedures, SOPs for everything, right? But if you do not have time in the game working in one place, you're never going to find out, right? If you went up to a fisherman, for example, and you went out and you went to Barbados and you were fishing for tuna or whatever it is, they know the best spots, they know the best lines to use that are not going to break, they know the best way to obviously get them in, they have the right tools, they have the right equipment. That didn't happen overnight. They spent a substantial amount of time doing that same thing over and over and over and over again. Right? So this is how I need you to imagine when you're looking at your fitness business, right? How can I repeat the same targeting, manipulating the approach and building out strength to a single line? If there's an area within my starting point, so imagine I'm coming in, I'm walking towards you right now. If I've got my niche, I've got my offer, I've got my program, I've got my content strategy, I've got my YouTube, I've got like a lead magnet, but my lead magnet has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm trying to achieve within my niche pain points, latent conditions, and stimulate a response and action from them. I know that that's something that I need to address at that point. So when you're looking at this right now, think about Coach A. Don't be Coach A. Do not have your arms, your knees, your ankles, your back breaking by trying to do as much stuff as possible by just trying to fish on the surface. Because that is all this is. This is a substantial amount of output for minimal reward, right? But the thing is, when we're looking at instant gratification, that's one. This is someone who's just looking at instant gratification. This is someone who's looking at delayed gratification. That's the best way I could describe that. So when we've got instant gratification and you get that sudden shiny coin, it's like, oh man, I've got a sale. I don't want you to have one sale. I want you to have 100, 250 pound clients. I want you to have an app that's got 25,000 people on it. That's the type of stuff that I want for fitness professionals, because I think it's possible when people do it the right way, they do it in sequence and they have general structure to everything that they are doing, rather than thinking, right, I'm suddenly going to throw this out, I'm suddenly going to throw that out, because all we're doing is we're fishing and we're skimming off the top, we're fishing on that surface level. And what's the point in that? What's the point in having a fitness business? What's the point in having your own business where all you're doing is fishing for tiny fish, right? We want those tuna, we want those massive hits, we want high ticket, we want mass volume app, we want 100 people onto an online fitness challenge. And that's how we do it, is by creating this robust structure to everything that we are doing in a step-by-step process, guys. So that's just a bit of an overview, right? Again, I will actually write out a list, because my list of things that you need for one offer will be probably triple that as a starting point, but I've run out of whiteboard space. But I hope that you get your gist, right? You can't climb over a load of straight chairs if they're all over the place, because you'll hurt yourself. If you try and fish with 6 lines, you're only going to skim off the top and get little tiny fish. If you build out robustness to your line with weight to that structure, and you start fishing for depths and you start going for the big fish down at the bottom, that's where the money is. But in order to get down to the bottom and hit those massive kind of figures, it is going to take you time. Right, don't get me wrong, I've had some clients where in 8 to 12 weeks they're suddenly going bang 10, 15, 20, 30 grand or whatever it is. Right? But that's just pot luck, right? That's what fishing is. Sometimes you chuck it into a lake, bang, you get a bite, right? But in reality, the more time you spend fishing, the more time you spend researching, the more time you spend speaking to people, the more accurate that you're going to be and the better prizes that you're going to get off the back of it. Well, there's a lot about fishing there today, and this is what these videos are going to be about. They're going to be a bit different. I love an analogy, and I hope that you understand the point that I'm getting across. The reason that I know all this, why do I know all this, is because I have made every single mistake that I've just tried to tell you not to do. I've done it as an online coach. I used to have multiple offers, struggle to scale, right? I had a events company, an education company, and a consulting company at the same time, right? It was horrific. My arms and legs and stability was literally all over the place. So, for example, now when you look at me, what do I focus on? The coach consultant, focus on one thing and one thing alone. For the last 4 or 5 years, that is all I've done. I've focused on one offer, one business, one niche, one structure, one everything. And that's what's built up a 7-figure, multi-7-figure company within 4 years. Before then, yeah, I was doing well. Like, don't get me wrong, like 25, 30, 40 grand months. But that's what I'm trying to say is that might be your tuner now. But I promise you, when it starts going well, you start thinking, I want more. I want to push for more. I'm capable of more. So everything that I'm saying to you here is I've done all this. I've made all these mistakes. I've been in your shoes. And the main thing that I want is for people to just do this right from the start. I don't want to see fitness coaches making mistakes that I know that I can get them to solve straight away with what we do and what we provide. So that's a bit of a roundup from me anyway, guys. If you want to know more about all that stuff in more detail, if you go to a link somewhere in my bio, I can't remember where it is, but if you go onto my links, there's a S3 Smart Scaling document, which is a free resource, free video, and it'll give you a massive comprehensive structure of that and a hell of a lot more. If you liked the video, please like it. If you're not subscribing, I'd love you to subscribe. And if you've got any video ideas, I'd love for you to drop some comments and just say, I'd like you to do a video on this, because the more ideas I've got, the more stuff I can pump out. I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers where I can then come in and actually click the monetize button. I'm not going to be earning that much money from YouTube anytime soon. But if it monetizes at 1,000, then it means that YouTube actually has a reason to push my content. So I would really, really, really appreciate it if you did like, if you subscribed, if you shared it with any of your mates, and just let me know your thoughts and comments. Do you like the analogies? Which one was better, the chairs, me falling over the chairs, or was it better the man fishing versus man fishing with weights? You let me know, but see you on the next one. 3 videos per week.